Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we went through and upgraded most of the significant things in the base to LUV tier. We've got Naquita coil blocks now to upgrade the blast furnace. We've got the next tier of parallel control hatches, so that everything can run a bit quicker. That meant also getting the next tier of circuits. And to top it all off, we upgraded the power. Since last time, I got the rest of the solar panels I needed, and one more line. So now, I don't think I can illustrate it. No, I'm full. But I'm generating just shy of 6 million RF per tick now. It's insane. I've also been doing some miscellaneous smaller upgrades, like upgrading the backpack. This is huge. The only reason I didn't upgrade it before is it took nether stars, but they're not really a problem anymore. Same with netherite. And also, the air distillation system looks like a bit of a mess right now because the previous system was broken. I don't exactly know what caused it, but I'm guessing because I had fluid voiding on, it meant that all of the gases produced from the distillation towers just completely voided themselves in the bottom tanks. So I ran out of radon. Not anymore because I've fixed it. And I just switched to a full laser I/O system because that's the easiest way in my mind to get it into specific, to get a one-to-one connection between output to input. And I could do the same with pipes, but it'd be quite the mess with such a tight system here, and it'd be more finicky than just doing all of this for laser I/O. And yes, setting this up was incredibly finicky, but it's fixed the problem, so I'm not complaining. I think that just about catches up to where we left off. And where we left off, I've got some decisions to make. Because sure, a lot of this tree is grayed out, but most of it requires doing one of two things. The trinium, I can get that now, but I don't really have a use for it until ZPM. So it's effectively a ZPM thing, much like a lot of these circuits can only really be used in ZPM. And other things here aren't explicitly required. But the rest of what I'd actually consider to be LUV things require the Fission Reactor. So I can either decide to move on to ZPM already, or do the Fission Reactor. Both of which are going to be a lot of work, because this Fission Reactor is big and expensive. This is going to be a multi-video project, and I'm kind of curious, because this upgrades later on. Yeah, it does require a different machine casing. I don't know if reactor glass can replace a lot of this, so that I can stick with mostly the same multi-block. But it's not saying reactor glass can be used. Only in the middle bit, and only in certain spots. I'll try and use as much fusion glass as possible because that's going to be the same across all of these reactors. And it means just less casings. But yeah, these are going to be a huge project regardless. And I think the hardest part is going to be the control block. So I'm just going to scope this out before I fully commit to this. Because some of these things, like plutonium, seem to imply a lot of other work. So superconducting coils, I can make that on LUV. That takes indium, tin, barium, titanium cuprate. Which, yeah, I can do that. Doesn't seem too bad. It's on 4 just to make it more annoying. But okay, that's not too bad. CPM circuits already have that. Osmiridium, I already have that. IV field generator, I can make all of that except the samarium iron arsenic. But I'm guessing, yeah, I don't see that being much of a problem. Then UHPIC wafers. It requires a clean room, so I'm going to have to move the LCR into there. But this seems pretty doable. So the main thing, yeah, is the plutonium. And I just want to see. There are plutoniums here. Was it a numbered 241? Plutonium 241. It is from a different mod, though. So maybe GregTech plutonium is different? Oh, apparently I can just get plutonium from an ore. Maybe in normal GregTech, but not in Skyblock. Ah. macerate the Nuclearcraft plutonium. I really hope there's an alternative that doesn't involve a nuclear reactor or a fusion reactor. It's looking like the only thing that can do it is the GregTech nuclear reactor that I have no idea how to make, or the Nuclearcraft reactor. So I guess I'm dipping into this then. It looks like with any plutonium I can probably convert it, and there's likely a lot of overlap as well. And I don't need too much of this. It might be easier if I do this all manually for now. Let's see, plutonium-241. Do I need all of these other fuels? Let me see, if I just take one of them, it doesn't have anything other than fuel depletion, but the depleted fuel can be centrifuged into the plutonium. Let me just see that it's the same with the others. Yeah. So any of these can work to give me plutonium. Looks like the uranium could be the easiest one. It gives me a different plutonium. If I pick the right uranium, wait, I can smelt different uraniums? Oh my god, this is insane. I feel like I'm navigating a maze. I need uranium HEU-233. So that takes uranium 238 and 233. And I don't even know where to go to get to that. Okay, there's quests for 238 and 233. Looks like I can get it from thorium TBU? Thorium dust. Which I can get from monazite? The quest is telling me pitch blend. Do I do this? I don't have much of a choice here. I guess this is what I'm doing. So, it's told me pitch blend. And that is an ore that I have literally millions of. And I can get thorium as a byproduct just from macerating this. I shouldn't need an insane amount of this, but I will still do this in bulk. I just process the pitch blend like I do with any other ore, and I guess I can centrifuge it to get thorium and uraninite. That might be useful. It's a source of uranium, most likely. And I need more thorium anyway. So yeah, I've got a ton of thorium now. What do I do with that? I need thorium-232. That's from centrifuging the thorium dust. Is there much of a use of keeping this thorium? I'll keep some of it. Just a little bit. But that gets me the thorium-232. And I need thorium TBU to get a fission reactor? Oh god. This is a multi-block. And it doesn't tell me in the JEI. I have to go off of this. Oh boy. But first things first, I need the thorium TBU. That's just in the forming press with a cylinder mold. I can make that. I can take my thorium and turn it into these nice pellets. And that's opened some things up. If I'm doing this, maybe with some of the extra, I can go down to neodymium. Maybe I could finally complete LV. If I've got time, I can do that. God knows, I'm already doing the hard stuff. But to get the plutonium that I want, I need both the uraniums, so I need depleted thorium. So, I need to make that fission reactor. So I need all of this stuff. I'm guessing it's just a simple 5x5x5 multi-block. I might just look this up so I don't ruin anything. But it looks like a 3x3x3 interior, and just casings all the way around it, hopefully. We'll see. But I need a fission reactor controller. So I need a lot of fission reactor casings. And plate advanced? Oh boy. Oh god. This is the kind of stuff that I automate then. The main thing here that I'm not sure about is tough alloy ingots. Might be easier through tough alloy dust, or not. Doesn't have a recipe. So I guess ferroboron and lithium. I'm pretty sure I've got lithium. Yeah. But ferroboron, how do I get that? Boron and steel. Okay. I can get boron kind of easily. But that should be all the recipes I need for the reactor controller, the casings, and all of the stuff to make that. I'll just put some of these recipes in place, just so I don't get confused and make them again. Actually, can I just queue these up? I'm missing ingredients. Oh, I don't have boron. Why am I confusing it with something else? Or maybe I just spent all of it. I probably did, actually. Okay, time to get a ton of borax. Alright, that's a lot of borax. Just electrolyze it to get as much boron as I can. Yeah, 60 boron. Hopefully that's enough. I think I might actually do the casings first, just to trigger the quest. I don't know if that's how much I need total, considering everything else here. or if that's just for the multi-block. I'll do it anyway. It'll be 96. And I guess also just a bit of a test of the recipes. And while I wait, I will make the rest of this. I need a fission reactor port. I thought I had a robot arm recipe. I guess not. So then additionally I need specifically a cryothium heatsink. I guess for the quest. And a water heatsink. So I need the empty heatsink. I think I'll make a recipe for that and manually fill the rest. And I don't have a recipe for any of this stuff. I got an extreme ingot, tough alloy, and hard carbon. Hard carbon is basically just diamond, right? Yeah, diamond and graphite. And then the iron bars I can make myself, and probably this stainless steel cells as well. And then last, I need the solid fuel cells. Oh, and that is by far the simplest recipe. So I should have all the recipes I need now. I'm just hoping this all works properly. Okay, it looks like a lot of the fission reactor was done, but something might have gotten stuck. Ah, that's the problem. It just got full. Okay, that's cleared up a lot of things. I've got all of the plate basics now. I just need more boron to make the ferroboron. So I need a lot more borax. This time I'm going to do it manually in case something goes wrong. Okay, that seems to be fine. Let's finish it. There we go, 96 reactor casings. So I can use some of that to make the control block, which shouldn't have any problems. So I'll just try making that. And the reactor port, I just needed the one. Yeah, that also shouldn't have any problems. And then I needed 14 of the fuel cells. But yeah, those are no problem. Then comes the heat sinks. I need 13. And I'm filling these all manually. And I ran out of boron again. Okay, I have enough boron now. Just need to make 13 stainless steel cells. That's easy. Double stainless steel plate and electrum rings. There we go. That should make all of the cells. So then I should be able to just make all of the heat sinks. Okay, there's all of the heat sinks. So then one of them needs to be water. That's very easy. I can do that now. But then 12 of them need to be cryothium. So I need slurry ice, blizz powder, liquid ice, and ethanol. And GregTech ethanol, I think I'm going to have to distill biomass. How do I get biomass? Biochaff in the pyrolyze oven. Biochaff, just macerate plant balls. I can make that manually because I have a lot of plant balls. So let me see. I need 12 buckets of cryothium. I can just make that. There we go. And that should just start making all of the heat sinks. All the fuel cells are done now too. So then I'm just waiting on the heat sinks to finish and the reactor controller. And the reactor controller is close to being done. It's just not doing anything for some reason. There we go. That's getting it going again. I just had to close all of the recipes making flatline stuff. So there's the controller, and there's all the heat sinks. So now I can make the fission reactor. There's another thing here, fission reactor designing. No, just go to a website. I'm just making this because I shouldn't need this for long. I'll put it over here. I need to do a 5x5 on the ground. Then cryothium like that, with fuel cells in the middle, and fuel cells on the outside, with a water sink in the middle, and then cryothium again. The controller can go there, and the port can go there, and I just build up the rest of the outside. Except, I don't have enough, so I need to make a few more. I was missing 7? Yeah, I can make that. There we go. So, is that it? Do I just... clearly doesn't... It probably goes in the port? No? Yes? Interior complete. Do I need to give it power? No, it generates power, wouldn't it? I have one more idea. Maybe because there's 14 fuel cells in there, I need 14 of the pellets? No. Wait, it says place the controller in the middle of one of the bottom edges. Like that? Wait, where did the fuel go? I might have accidentally deleted the fuel. It's more or less free because I've got so much pitch blend. It just takes a little while for me to make it. So I've got 4 more. Let me see. No. Google, help me. Okay, I can't seem to find anything conclusive on Google. The only thing I've seen is that they seem to take out the corners and it seems to work fine. But if I don't have to, I probably won't. From what I was reading, the interior, it doesn't seem to matter just to get it to run. It's just this design is, I'm guessing, optimally efficient using these components. And I found a ton of guides about how to build the thing, but I already have the thing built. It's just not running. Why? Hang on a minute. I found something online. This feels really dumb. But that is exactly what I need. Why? Why does it only work with a redstone signal? I saw all these redstone settings, but I thought that was to turn it off. Like literally every other machine that takes a redstone signal. But I've got my depleted thorium now. And that, yeah, just centrifuges. Also, this is making power, so I may as well take some out of it. Anyway, I can get on with this now. So, I have uranium now. I need both of that, clearly. And then which was the one that I needed to make for the polonium? Or plutonium, rather. I need uranium 233. They're both 233. HEU. This one. So then I need 3 of the 233 and 6 of the 238. And I really don't get much of the 233. I'm just going to run this quite a lot. Well, if I see the HEU, the one that gives plutonium 241, that I get... Wait, don't I just put it in the reactor? Let me see. I need to make the uranium. Yeah, HEU 233. Then I'll run it in there. It's gonna take a little while to go through. Oh! Something went wrong. I should have made a backup. What happened here? I'm assuming, yeah, I can just pick all this up. There's a lot of it. The controller's still there. I'm guessing the port's probably gone. I'm gonna need to make a bunch more casings. And all of the internal stuff too. Okay, don't touch it, it burns. That's what I get for not checking the reactor so closely. I'm guessing then this uranium burns hotter? Let me see, I should still have the wiki up. Ah, yeah, it was just a reactor meltdown. So it just overheated. Okay, yeah. I think this wiki is for a different version of Nuclearcraft, but I think the point still stands that I was burning at almost 20 times the amount of heat. So, of course this couldn't handle that. Well, I'm probably gonna need a bigger reactor. Or actually, I don't care about producing power with this, so I can just make something with a single fuel rod and then surround it with cryothium. So that it's just minimal heat. That'd work, right? Probably. I think I'm just gonna do another 3x3 interior. So that's gonna be 26 heat sinks. There we go, that should be all the stuff I need. Is cryothium the best one for this? Oh, they all have different placement rules. As for cooling rate, liquid nitrogen seems to be the best one. Oh, but that must be placed next to at least one purple heatsink and one copper heatsink. It's a bit complicated. Enderium must be placed in the corner of 3 fission reactor casing blocks. I can do that. Oh, if I think about the interior, I'm gonna have a thing in the center. That's gonna be the fuel source. And if I put enderium heat sinks in the corners like that and above, that can work. And enderium was pretty good. Ah, and then the rule for the lapis one is it has to be touching a fuel cell and a casing. So then those can go all the way around. Then I've still got a bunch of gaps. Ooh, magnesium. A reactor casing and a moderator? Is a moderator the same as a heatsink? Or rather, are heatsinks moderators? Because if that's the case, then magnesium is the last one I need. Or tin. Because that'd be between... Oh, it's not between, but it's touching too? Oh god. I'd rather not risk that. Arsenic would be better than magnesium, but that's assuming heat sinks count as moderators. Hang on, I have the wiki. The wiki's saying graphite and beryllium are the only moderators. Those don't seem to exist. I don't know. I could make this a lot easier if I just had 2 more fuel cells like that, because then I could put cryothium in there. I could actually do all of this. No, because they'd still have these gaps. So then I do a cross, then it's just cryothium and enderium. And then I guess I do lapis on the top. Yeah, cryothium is better than lapis. I'll see. So I need to make 4 more of these then. So then how do I get a lapis heatsink? Oh, lapis dust. Okay. And I'm guessing enderium heatsink, enderium dust, not liquid enderium. So I need 8 of them. So that's 32 dust. And then I need 12 cryothium. And I really hope this is enough cooling. Because if it isn't, I'm kinda screwed. So how many more of these casings do I need? I need another 68. I'll just over-prepare a little bit. So I'm hoping a pattern like this works. I do have a lot of fuel cells touching each other, which does make them produce quite a lot more heat. I'm hoping I can counteract that. All of these rules should be abided by. Let's just hope it cools it down enough that I don't explode this again. But I think just in case, I can set something up to turn this off when it reaches a certain amount of heat. So, at heat stored, did the wiki say it gives off a signal at 50%? Full signal if it exceeds 50%. So I can have a comparator output there, and then would that work to give it power? Probably. Well, I know what would if I do that, and then just repeater in the side. So then when enough heat is stored, it gives an output to turn off the redstone signal, and then it turns itself off. Yeah. Okay, that should be the reactor done. Need to run some more thorium in it. It should be able to run the thorium. It does. Interior incomplete. Multi-block casing incomplete. So I need another block there. Okay, now it's complete. Sure. Just need to modify this. So then when I do that, yes, it works. And looks like I'm cooling more than I'm generating. Right now, at least. I'm just gonna make some more uranium. And this is the test. If it can run with the uranium in it, even if it has to turn off a bit, I should be fine. Kind of just want to see, I can switch this. Depletion progress? Current signal strength 14. Ah, the comparator is not taking out of this. Where does it output? So I was pretty sure it just takes out of the controller, right? Although the diagram has it on the side. But if I took out that corner, it wasn't working? Well, hang on. It'd be really inefficient, but I could just set this up on a redstone clock. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this on a clock. I don't need something especially complicated here. Yeah, that should restrict it. It's only active a quarter of the time. I still just want to make a backup. Okay, backup has been made. So, let's hope for the best. Okay, I am making a net positive of heat, but it's building slowly, so I can probably just micromanage it a bit. Although it's probably gonna finish making the uranium before it fully melts down. Yeah, okay. Now I'll just run a bit of thorium in there for a minute, because I still need to make 1 more uranium, and then I should be able to run that no problem. Why is the heat multiplier 1? Why is this changed? Why is the efficiency different? It's generating more heat? Hang on, what changed here? I didn't rebuild this or anything. I just stuck a lever on it. Why is the heat multiplier increasing? Is the coolant running out or something? I don't know what's going wrong here, but things are changing. Either way, that's the uranium. So then I can centrifuge it, and that gives me plutonium. I just need the 241. Then that gets macerated,
into the GregTech plutonium, and I can smelt that and put it through the bender, and then that makes, finally, the double plutonium plates. So I now have one of the things I need for the fusion reactor. But I had always marked that as the biggest one, and I think we've determined, yeah, probably was the biggest individual thing that I need to do to make this fusion reactor. Oh god, look at this mess. I don't even know how to go down to get neodymium, because it's not even getting neodymium from this, it's completing all of the quests required for it. I mustn't have to complete every prior quest, just one of them, because this only has one prior quest completed. So then I just make plutonium lep 239. Oh, I'm gonna have to do more stuff. I'm kind of done with the nuclear reactor for now, doing nuclear fission. Whenever I do another cleanup episode where I just find all of the remaining quests, that can be one I do. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave that there. That was quite the strain on my brain, because this is quite the complex thing to do, nuclear fission, but that is probably the scariest part of getting the fusion reactor done. Pretty much everything else here, I honestly think I can do in maybe the next episode? And then making the multi-block itself, that's going to take a while. And actually getting it running. So I see this being 2 more videos before I have a functional fusion reactor. But I've done the precursor to fusion, the fission reactor, and I am very happy to be done with it. Hopefully I won't have to touch it for a very long time. So yeah, I am quite pleased with this progress. Next video we can go on to making the fusion reactor control block. That might take all episode, I don't know. If I do it quickly, maybe I can move on to doing the multi-block itself. I'll see. But there's definitely more to be getting on with. And I don't have time for that anymore. So I'm going to call the video here. Bye.